All right, welcome back to my project here of trying to get this front end of the G950 narrowed up. It's December 23rd. It's been a couple weeks since I did my last video. I was gone. I was over in Thailand for work, which is very interesting. My first time over to Southeast Asia. Very hot over there. It's 92 to 94. Turns out I'm much taller than the average person over there and much balder. So I kind of stuck out. But anyway, got back. I've been severely jet lagged all week. Work, right back to work, and just in the evenings I come home, I'm just so tired. But one thing I did get accomplished is this is the Road King seat out of the A4T, and I'm going to get new cushions made. It's got like a metal back that the cushions go to. You can see where the foam was kind of stuck to it. Here's the seat base, kind of the same thing. I tried to sandblast them. I was going to put a coat of paint on it before I send them out to get the cushions made, but I think it's more like a galvanized steel or something. It doesn't really, it's not really rusty. It's just got adhesive all over it from that stuff. And then you've got, that bolts onto the whole big seat area there, and the seat is held into the tractor by 3 bolts on either side that go on the frame. So today at some point I'm going to go over to the other A4T that's at Eric's place and pull the seat out of that, because when I send these out I'm going to get seat cushions made for both, because I'm getting kind of excited about that project of putting that motor in that tractor here at some point. So what I'm going to try to do here, I got up early this morning, and it's part of my my jet lag, but I'm going to try to heat this up and see if I can break this front end loose. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the jet over with that hook on the bucket underneath my cheater bar / auger shaft, put a chain, put a little bit of down pressure on that, and then I'm going to get it, see how hot I can get it, and see if I can get this thing to let go. I really would like to get this thing narrowed up and be done with that part of it, and then I can work on my exhaust manifold leak and on going through the regulator there, propane regulator, because it's letting a little bit leak through there, and I rebuilt it once. I must have cut a diaphragm or something. But so that's it. I'm gonna fire up the Jet 3, get it over here, and put a little down pressure on this thing. She hadn't been running a couple weeks, but I have had the battery tender on it, so we'll see how she does here. This tractor is so reliable. All right, got a chain around my hook here onto my cheater bar / auger to my pipe wrench. I got some down pressure on it. Basically I have the weight of the bucket on it, which is, gotta guess it's got to be a few hundred pounds. My problem is now, you can tell, I've got a very tight area because I got too much crap cluttered in here. But I got to get in there with the torch now, and let's see if we can get that thing red hot. So that's the next plan. I have heated on this thing for about a half hour. It is hot. Obviously I've got smoke rolling out of the inside of the tube where the acetone and ATF was. I have my tension on. I'm jumping up and down on the bucket. Nothing. So frustrating. I'm almost to the point where it's like I'm gonna have to get another torch over here so we can get it even hotter and try to, I mean, I can't understand why this thing would be so frozen, but it is. I mean, when we did that one on the 955, we had to take it to a machine shop, and they struggled with it at a machine shop. So, but I swear this thing should be letting go. I got tension going back, I got tension going down. Only thing I can think is I got to get it hotter. I put my my infrared heat gauge on there. It was almost 600 degrees on the metal, so I don't know. We'll just man, I put heat, I stopped, tried everything, I put more heat to it. Just almost feel like I'm wasting gas, like I got to get another set of torches over here, like I said, and get it hotter. So I'm gonna mess around with this for a few more minutes, and I don't know. I want to get this thing done. Jeez, it's killing me. Well, and then I thought I'd get smart and try to put a little more down tension on it. And you can see my auger cheater bar is on the floor. And there's my pipe wrench. So much for TSC. I should have gone to Harbor Freight and got one that had a lifetime warranty on it. Heavy duty. I didn't even put that much, I didn't think it was that much pressure on it. So, you gotta love it. Probably made in China. All right, neighbor Carl and I came over. We're gonna pull the seat out of this thing. This is where Nick, Ohio MM, and I came over, I don't know, a month or two ago, and put the tarp on it to kind of keep the weather out since it doesn't have a back window. While I'm here, I kind of want to go over some things and check out what all I'm going to need to move forward when we get ready in this spring to put the engine in this. I do have another set of tires that will match these. They added on to the bottom step there. I'll probably cut off that little extension, and but one of the things I'm going to have to do is get in here, I think, and do the wheel cylinders on this and do the same type of brake stuff that I did on the other one to this one. It does have a quick hitch on the back, no PTO. Does have fenders, and the fenders are pretty straight. And yeah, it's nothing like having a bucket in there. It's got a lot of diesel in it. I'm gonna have to pump out all the diesel. So, but today the goal, the tire's getting a little low, I didn't know that, is to I'm gonna have to take the tarp off and then get in there and take the seat out. I'm gonna also check out the master cylinder and all that stuff, because like I said, I want to kind of get this a little bit more ready so that in the spring we can get things done on it. Hopefully get a motor put in this thing. All right, got the seat out. Again, it was 3 bolts on either side, although 2 of these snapped off. And I'm gonna guess that's because the rear window's out of this one, and so the seat's base has gotten a lot more wet than that other one did. So one thing I found here, I didn't think I had, but these are the front mounts for the engine when we put the engine in. I'm gonna guess all these bolts are what held the engine in. Got all the side panels and stuff are over there for either side. This has, and I didn't realize it, it's got a replacement tack in it. I just noticed that today. But it looks like, and they've added an oil pressure gauge. And then there's another oil pressure gauge. Oh, I'm sorry, that's amps. I'm gonna guess maybe the warning lights weren't working right. It's missing the filter cover for up here in the cab. I'm gonna have to find one of those. And this one didn't have a radio in it. It's inside of this cab is not as nice as the other one, although this one does have wing windows on both sides. And I got that white 4150 rear window to put in this that I think we can make hinges and make it work. And so they've added an extension over there on the for the 3-point. It doesn't feel like the cable going for the draft controls froze up like it was on the other one, but the emergency brake cables definitely froze up, and the pedal is hard as a rock, brake pedal. So I'm gonna have to do master cylinder, rear wheel cylinders. This is going to be a lot of work, but I think that overall this is going to end up being a pretty, I think it's still in good shape, and I think once we get the engine in it, you know, will make it a pretty decent tractor. At least it'll be fun messing with it. You got to find a flywheel, because the A4T flywheel, I guess, is a little bit different. I got to get a clutch, and there's a lot of work to be done, but again, I think it'll be worth it in the end. One of the other things I'm going to do this winter while I'm doing things is probably get hoses made and that kind of stuff, just so that that's done when we start putting the motor in it. You know, those are the little things that we can do right now, and then not have to mess with later. These hoses back here aren't terrible. Well, they are getting a little dry rotted, but those I can mess with later. It's stuff up front. This is set a little bit narrower than the other one is, which is going to be better for hauling it. It won't be it'll still be legal. But so that's about it. It's a cold, rainy day out here, and I'm gonna get the tarp put back on, and then we're gonna head back home. All right, so I've got both the seats here. This one unfortunately rusted out, so the pan that's similar to that is rusted out and gone, and I'm gonna have to work to get probably have to get the grinder out to get the bolts out of the base of that. Hopefully, I haven't even looked at this real close. I just got home. Yeah, just the edges here are a little bit, but it's still pretty solid. Need to take the back off of there, which is just held on by, I think, 4 or 5 bolts, and oops, yeah, there's the bottom of it. So get new cushions made, and got a long list of stuff to do. It's really bumming me out. I just was on the phone with Joe Pro and staring at this front end, and Oliver Phil is going to come over and help me do this, and I got to take my little wrench here and see. That is some yeah, cheap pot metal there, but yep, I got to get this thing narrowed up. I could do probably the regulator and the exhaust manifold right now. I kind of want to get the front end done before I tear into that. So what to do. Worst thing about the LP regulator is then I got to drain antifreeze again. It's just not easy, because you got 2 antifreeze lines going in here that help heat it up, help vaporize the, so nothing's ever easy. I don't know that I have plugs. Even if I try to plug it, it's gonna leak antifreeze every place. Oh well, I'm gonna stop rambling here and crying about things, and I'm gonna work on the seats a little bit. So I just got done tearing the vinyl off this one. Unfortunately, this one's got some rust on both sides there, so I might have to fix that before I send that to Owen. I'm not sure. It's kind of crazy. The foam from the back, though, was still in relatively good shape for being its age. The cover just, that vinyl just rips when you grab hold of it. You can just pull it and rip it. So, and I'm gonna have to cut out those bolts or just grind them off on the bottom and kind of clean up. Might have to do some repair on the metal on that also. Now that I'm looking at it, looks like this is getting pretty thin right through here. So I might have to clean that up and then piece in some metal on there just to make that more solid. Just kind of looking that over. So that's my seat drama. Yep. Just debating if I should tear into the regulator, just drain the antifreeze and do the regulator right now. And probably the exhaust manifold. I don't know. Like I said, I've been jet lagged all week. My energy level and gumption right now, it was all fired up to do that front axle, but I got to do something because I just can't sit around. So we'll see what I decide to do here in a little bit. All right, well, things don't get done unless you do them. So first things first, I take out the 4 screws that hold on this screen up here so I can get in to drain the antifreeze. And then I'm going to take my tensioning chain off and move some of this stuff out of the way so that I can get in there to the regulator, and might as well do this. And that, at least that will be done if I can get that leak fixed. So what's happening is, I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm going to turn on. There's the vapor. Turn on the vapor. Can you hear it coming out there? So it's either getting through, there's a little diaphragm in here, or it's getting, something's allowing it to come through and come out. Yep, I can definitely hear it. So I gotta fix that, because that's not right. And when it's not running, this gas getting through, and it's probably not running as efficient as it should. All right, got the antifreeze draining in the bucket. I took off the propane line, and now I'm just loosened up. This is the antifreeze line going in. And in a second here, I'm going to unhook the positive battery terminal of the battery, because I'm working pretty close to the starter here, and I don't really want to do any welding. I'm not really fond of electrocuting myself. I guess it's not really electrocuting, shocking or creating sparks or anything like that. I had a bad experience one time with lightning. Let some air in. Now I really got antifreeze flowing. Did bring a pan over, but while I'm here, I'm gonna have to get a wrench, because that's on there pretty tight. And got that unhooked, and of course, par for the course, I created sparks just taking it off. So I just am not a fan of electricity. Got a pan down there to catch it. All right, so that's unhooked. I loosened that. I need to take out those two bolts. I can't remember. I think there are nuts on the back of those. I think they're 7/16. Get those off. Pull the regulator off, and then we'll put it on the bench and we'll get busy. All right, I think my battery's going to die pretty quick here, but I'll swap it. But got it on the bench. Need to take out these 6 screws. Take off this cover, and I'll inspect that diaphragm and before I take that off and go into there. So I know that when I did this before and I rebuilt it, I used water. I mean, I know that it wasn't leaking around the gasket here. It's definitely internal. A little soapy water will generally show you if you got an issue or not. All right. All I can smell right now is propane. So lift that off. There's a gasket here on the inside, and you got the diaphragm. Diaphragm looks pretty good. So inside here, you've got this piece with another diaphragm, but in order for gas to be coming out over here, it's got to be getting through this diaphragm. So, not sure. I've got on gloves. I generally do that. I know Moline Dan doesn't generally, but I do just because, and especially dealing with propane, because it smells terrible. Wonder why. So I move that in and out. You hear it breathing. So might have to call Dean Zingray and ask him, because he's the authority on this. I did clean this all up when I was in there before. It was all mucked up, and yeah, it was in not great shape. So yeah, I'm gonna mess with this a couple minutes, see if what I can figure out. So I think I just figured it out. So I was blowing air in here just with my mouth, which tastes great, with the propane, and I was hearing air escaping. I put pressure on. There's a little rubber plunger there where the propane comes in, goes kind of down through, it comes out here, it comes in this main chamber. So when and I'll do it right now, if I blow, and when I was blowing before, I could hear air escaping, but now I kind of messed with this and the air has stopped escaping. So just wondering if somehow I had a piece of dirt in there or something that was keeping that from sealing right there. But that seems to have pretty much done what I needed to do. So I'm gonna just test it here a little bit more, but I might just put this thing back together and put it back on. I wish there was a better way to bench test it. I'm just afraid to put too much air pressure on this and then cause damage to something in there. But yeah, I'm gonna play with it here another couple minutes and then maybe put it back together and put it back on and see if that fixed it. I don't know. That seemed to kind of fix it, so I'm gonna just try this. Just put it back together and see what happens. And I can hook the propane back up to it on the tractor and not mess with the antifreeze, so that if it is continuing to leak, I'll just pull it right back off. I don't know if I kind of messed with that seal a little bit, that plunger, and that seemed to have kind of done it. Could I be so lucky that it's just something simple that maybe it just, when I put it back together before, I maybe just didn't do something 100%, but taking it back apart and messing with it fixed it. I don't know. All right. These got to be pretty tight. Tight's tight. Too tight's broke, right? Dean didn't answer when I called. I don't blame him. It's Christmas weekend. Hopefully he's doing something with his family and not answering calls to guys that are out in their shop working on stuff that they shouldn't be. Well, yes, I should be, but I mean, it's Christmas weekend, but I think the wife's glad I'm out here doing something other than bothering her. All right, so I just put one of the bolts in, just kind of loose. Tightened up my supply line. I'll come over here and turn the vapor back on. Knock a bunch of stuff off the platform. Huh, nothing leaking. Don't smell any propane. I don't hear it. I don't think you probably hear it. Well, solved my problem. There, now I know. So I'll put my other mounting bolt back in down here. It's got a little spacer in it that goes in there. And then I'll hook my water lines back up, and then I will dump a bunch of antifreeze back in. So at least now I know. Actually, while the antifreeze is out, I might see, I'm going to look at some other stuff here. Should I just pull off the hood and mess with the exhaust manifold too? Because who knows how long this is going to take. I could solve all these problems so that when the front end is finally narrowed up, the tractor is pretty much ready to go. We'll see. I'm gonna mount this back up and then I'll make that decision. So the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check for leaks. So I'm gonna put some soapy water. You can tell that it's not too cold today because my soapy water is not froze. I'm gonna turn the gas back on. I'm gonna look for some bubbles. Well, looky there. That's not good. I'm gonna have to tighten that up. The screws are really hard to get to. But everything else looks okay. But I'm definitely getting some bubbles there. So go get a screwdriver and try to tighten that down a little bit. All right, definitely got a couple turns out, but now I don't have bubbles coming from there, so I'm good. So I think that is all good to go. Oh, I do need to tighten this back up. I forgot about that. But yeah, then I think I am going to pull off the hood, pull off the muffler, pull off the air cleaner, and take this side of the hood off and look at my exhaust manifold. might as well. We're here. It's only 3:30. Got to make use of all the time I got. So I think it was 6 bolts to take off, holding the hood on. Hood's off. Yeah, I'm not feeling great about the way some of these look. I have a feeling there's going to be some cussing going on taking these off, because it's interesting. I still, my battery died, but I still do have this heat shield on there, which I think a lot of them are missing that. But I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try to take these off. That one really looks like it's been hot, and those two both actually. I think this is going to be not fun, but I got to do it. And I got to take this, goes up to the valve cover as a breather, so I got to take that off. And other than that, it looks like it should come off pretty well. And then I can see if I have to have the manifold surfaced, or if it's just just needs gasket. I don't know what's underneath it, but she's definitely leaking. You can hear it when she's running. So that's what's next. Well, I wasn't lying. Got the 2 end ones out because those are the easy ones. Got this one pretty much out. It also holds the regulator bracket, but I'm out against the intake manifold. These two, actually I was able to get a bolt extractor on there, tapped on, got those broke free. This one, because the bend, I can't get the bolt extractor on, and it's rusted down slightly smaller than 3/4. I might try a metric on there, but I haven't gotten that one to break free yet, and that's a little frustrating. So that's the progress where I'm at on these. Geez, exhaust manifold bolts are always pretty bad. The ones that came out, they nut obviously stayed on the stud. I might replace these when I put it back on and put new nuts and new studs. That would probably be the smart thing to do. Not that I ever plan on doing this again, but if I have to, then it will be a lot easier on me. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna try getting that one free. Well, I got the exhaust manifold off, but not in a traditional way. So this one is not coming out. It kind of twisted. It holds a little bracket down there. But I got all the rest of them out, so what I was able to do is just kind of grab hold of the exhaust manifold and slide it up. I'm going to try to do the same with the intake and get it out of the way, and then once it's out of the way, I can maybe get something on the back side of that, because this is stripping out here. This is, yeah. I didn't think that one was going to be such a problem. I thought these middle ones were going to be the big problem, but turns out that that's my problem child. So on the exhaust manifold, just quick, I just lifted it off, but it's got a lot of lot of pitting around at least these two surfaces, and it was leaking up here, so I'm gonna need to machine that back down and get that back smooth and get a new exhaust manifold gasket, and I think that should solve my problem with the exhaust manifold leak. But now I gotta figure the rest of this out and get the intake off. Check out the intake, because obviously I need to have it off to put the gaskets on, and yeah, a little bit of progress. All right, I got that last one out. There it is. The problem is this bracket that's on it to hold the cooling tube that goes to the regulator that's all rusted together, so it was binding. So I'm gonna have to knock all that apart, re-bend that bracket back, and then definitely getting new studs, new nuts, new gasket, clean all this up, and clean up the exhaust manifold surfaces there, and yeah, then this problem should be fixed, and that will solve my exhaust leak. This will sound a lot better. And yeah, slowly but surely, we're getting there. So that's about it for tonight. I'm gonna go in here soon and maybe open a cold adult beverage and watch a little bit of football, and not think about this front axle too much, because that's got me obviously bewildered. But I'm glad I got the regulator fixed today, and I'm glad that I was able to work my way through the exhaust manifold. So I might just make this a video here. It will be maybe a little short, but yeah, it'll be ready for Christmas. Hope everybody has a great Christmas and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If I don't make a video before next weekend, I don't know what this week is going to bring. I really appreciate the last year, everyone watching my videos, liking, subscribing, seeing people at shows that have watched, and all the positive feedback I get. I truly appreciate it. I believe that in the world of tractors, it's some of the best people in the world, and that's why I enjoy being around those people, because we all have a like interest, which are these beautiful yellow tractors. I mean, really any color. I like all tractors, but I got to give everybody a hard time that has the red and the green and the other color ones. But yeah, it's just been it's just fun, and this is what keeps me going from the real world, real job. I guess it's not even, it's just the real job that I have to be at all week long. I come home, I do this, no matter how bad things have gone there or how many people have pissed me off, which does happen. I can always count on one phone call from one of my tractor people to put me in a better mood. And you know, Dean Zingray called me back a little bit ago. We had a really nice conversation. Dean's a great guy. It's just good people left in the world. It's just I don't see them every day. So again, thanks for liking and subscribing. 2024 is going to be a lot more videos. We're going to get this project figured up. That A4T that we were pulling the seat out of today, we're going to get that motor in that and get that thing going, and work on the other one that I've got here. And it's going to be a good year. We're going to do some really cool projects. And here, hopefully soon, Oliver, Phil, and I are going to put the 14-horse Kohler back together for the 114 hydro sitting there, and get that thing all the way back together, and maybe clean up some of these projects I got around here. But looking at that A4T today, it's going to be that's going to be a lot of work. So anyway, thanks again for watching, and until the next video, we'll see what we can do with this. All right, until the next video.